emotional freedom techniques or tapping. What I want to do is I want to actually teach you how to set up some tapping for yourself and also why it's important to be really, really specific. So you may have seen tapping online on YouTube. You may have tapped along with some things, and that's what brought you to tapping in the first place. Tapping generically can be really great. Like if you're just tapping on loneliness, that can be lovely. But the more specific you are about about your particular situation, the more effective tapping is going to be. So I want to introduce you to how you set up basically a statement for yourself so you can do some self-tapping. So the first thing you want is an event. An event just means a space and time. It can be past, present, or future. So for example, if I'm thinking about an argument I had with my sister, I don't want to just tap on all the times I argued with my sister, right? Because my brain's going to go back to 43 years of arguments with my sister, right? And it's too much. My brain just overloads. And I don't want to think about, well, next time I go over to her house, right? What's going to happen? I might be getting nervous. I might start thinking about all these situations. Your brain just blows up with all the possibilities of what can happen. So what we do is we focus on one situation at a time because our brain is trying to kind of categorize things, right? To make things more simple to understand. Our brain puts everything in little neat blocks. So the nice thing is that we can tap on certain blocks and make the whole situation go away. So for example, when I think about tapping on fighting with my sister, I might think about the time I fought with my sister 2 weeks ago. I might think about right now tapping or fighting with my sister, right? If I was fighting with my sister, I could just be tapping while I'm fighting with her, right? And if I didn't want to tap where she could see it, I could just, rub my points instead. Or I could be thinking about something in the future. But once again, very specific. In fact, the event should be so specific that if you described it to me, I should be able to clearly picture it in my mind with the who, when, what. So we're going to find the event in the space and time. We're going to think about what do we feel right now thinking about it. So for example, if I talk about fighting with my sister 2 weeks ago, maybe then I was really angry. But right now I feel sad because I fought with my sister. So what I want to tap on is the sadness that I'm feeling, thinking about fighting with my sister 2 weeks ago. And then the next part is where do I feel it in the body? So it could be a tension in my chest. It could be upset in my stomach. I could feel something in my big toe. I could feel a little bit dissociated, a little bit floaty, a little bit out of my body. So when we start feeling those things, we just start tapping, focusing on those areas. So what it will look like, kind of the brief, fast version. We've got the event in time, the emotion we feel right now, the body part, and also how strong is it from 0 to 10, because we want to be able to evaluate if the tapping is working. So we start at the side of the hand, and this is where we say the full setup statement. And the setup statement is the event, even though thinking about the event, I feel this emotion in this part of my body. The second part of this setup statement is an acceptance phrase, such as, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay. Now, maybe you don't accept yourself at the moment because there's shame or there's guilt. So you can say, I accept how I feel, or I'm open to accepting the situation. Eventually, we want to get you to a place of accepting yourself no matter what we're working with. And if you struggle with saying those words, that's another good time to work with me professionally as a practitioner. Because if you don't accept yourself, that's a core issue that's going to impact all the rest of your life. So here's how to tap, starting at the side of the hands. So even though thinking about fighting with my sister 2 weeks ago, right, the event, I feel sadness in my chest, right, the emotion, the body part, I deeply and completely accept myself. We're going to say that 3 times. So even though thinking about fighting with my sister 2 weeks ago, I feel sadness in my chest, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though thinking about fighting with my sister 2 weeks ago, I feel a sadness in my chest, but I deeply and completely accept myself. Now all the rest of the points, we're just going to say the emotion and where you feel it in your body. And if you don't feel it anywhere in your body, just skip that part. Just say the emotion, that's fine. Okay. So the next spot is the top of the head. Sadness in my chest. The next point is right between the eyes, kind of at the corner of the eyebrow. You can tap on one side, both sides, doesn't matter what side. Sadness in my chest. The next spot is the side of the eye next to the temple. Sadness in my chest. Next spot is under the eye. Sadness in my chest. Then under the nose, between the nose and the lip. Sadness in my chest. Then under the mouth, between the mouth and the chin. Sadness in my chest. Then the collarbone points. This one we do want to tap both sides, but you can just tap with your full hand if you want. Sadness in my chest. And then under the arm. Sadness in my chest. Take a deep breath. And now evaluate how strong is that emotion from 0 to 10. It should have changed, right? Sometimes the emotion will go up. So let's say I suppressed that anger and all of a sudden, instead of being sad, I'm angry and the anger comes up. That's okay. We're just going to keep tapping until it gets down to at least under a 2, if not a 0. We're ideally shooting for a 0. So when the tapping is working, when your event is specific enough, you want it to get down, you want the emotion to change or the intensity to change, right? Or the body area to change. So maybe it moves from my chest to my stomach. Okay. Any of those, if any of those are true, then you know that you've done a successful tapping round. And then you just reset up your setup statement to show again what's the event, the emotion, the body part. Look at your intensity and repeat until it's at a 2 or under. If it's not moving, once again, that's time to hire a professional practitioner who can help you find what is the source, what is the reason why this is not shifting for you.